Well, welcome back. And a steady flow of calls has been coming in tonight on most of our cases. But on the murder of Mr. and Mrs. Dixon, we've received a record number of calls. Literally hundreds of people have called in, and some very important new information has come in on that particular case. So we'll hear about that later. But we'll start off with photo call. Nick.
Indeed, of course, that's what normally gets the fastest results. Here's David Hatcher. What have we got?
Well, no difference today, Nick. We've had some very good results. First of all, we dealt with that check shirt robber that we were looking for. His picture was caught on a security camera as he was robbing a building society. Well, we've had no positive sightings of him or his friend, but we did show a picture of an artist's impression of the man who drove him away, and we've had a name given for that artist's impression. Well, anybody else who thinks they know who he is, still please call, or indeed the picture of the robber.
Elizabeth and John Shield, I know you had a lot of people who thought they knew where they were.
Yes, we've had possible sightings all over the place. We mentioned that we thought they'd gone on holiday on the 23rd of June and caught a taxi from their home. Well, a guy's called in who thinks he was the taxi driver and says he took them to Ilford railway station. Well, that gives us another line of inquiry. Elizabeth and John, if you know where they are, please still call us now.
Now, there was a man who police thought might be able to help them with their inquiries into some really horrible crimes, crimes against elderly people, that he might have information. He's Gordon Johnson, and he's been cited everywhere, it seems.
That's right, yes. But, in fact, concerning the offences, we've had a similar offence reported in Glasgow this morning. So that's still happening to elderly people all the time. What we are concerned, of course, is to trace Gordon Johnston, to talk to him. Lots of sightings. Blackpool have had so many sightings of him there on Sunday that they've had to open up another incident room tonight to deal with the welter of calls that they've had. But again, if you know where Gordon Johnston is now, please call us.
David, thank you. Sue?
Well, now that armed robbery in Edinburgh, a gang of raiders held staff and customers at gunpoint in a bank near Edinburgh Airport, and then as police sealed off the main roads, they made an unorthodox escape across fields and country lanes. Now, Mr. Crookston, I know you've been receiving some interesting calls, and you've had some calls, I gather, on the identity of the video fit we showed.
Yes, we have. We've had several calls in that respect, asking for the video fit to be shown again, and this will be done now. Several persons have been named also, and these will be followed up in the not-too-distant future.
Can you quickly run through his description again?
Yes, he's 30 to 35 years of age. He's 5'8" to 5'9" in height. He has collar-length dark brown hair, dark moustache, and of course he does wear those Buddy Holly type glasses.
Right. Has anybody come forward who saw the men perhaps planning their getaway route before the crime?
No, disappointingly, we've had no information on that at all so far. Nor have we had anything on the whereabouts of the cars between the 7th and 10th July. And I'm really interested in that period, and I would ask people to call.
Right, and remember, there is a reward, of course.
There is indeed.
Mr. Crookston, for the moment, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, now the murder of the clifftop hikers, Peter and Gwenda Dixon. The couple had been camping in southwest Wales and then disappeared after setting off for a walk along the cliffs. Several days later, they were found shot dead. But part of our appeal centred on sightings of a man who'd been using Peter Dixon's cash point card in the vicinity at a NatWest bank. Clive Jones, this is the case in which I think it is a record number of calls. How many have you had so far?
Certainly in excess of 300 calls here and at Carmarthen.
Now, a lot of them have given really useful information, I know. Let's just start with the artist's impression, which was enhanced by a Crimewatch artist. This man is the one at the heart of your inquiries, and I gather you've got a lot of information about him.
Yes, we've had several calls from persons who actually put names to this individual, and we will be following those up.
Good, and a lot of other sightings I know, but nothing much on another crucial man, a possible witness, a fair-haired man who was seen in Marlowe's the day before the murder, 28th of June.
Yes, we've had very little information about this individual, who again is crucial as he can lead us to the pedal cyclist.
OK, fine. You've had nothing, again, I think, on the man in a cagoule who was seen on the path, the clifftop path.
No, nothing on him. However, we have identified several other people who were on the coastal path at that time who have telephoned in.
Indeed, an awful number of holidaymakers, not awful, a wonderful number of holidaymakers have called in who were there, including one, can I just say, he will know what I mean when I use the name Hitchin. He says he's not sure how important his information is. It could be very important. Could he call us back and tell us where he was when he was fishing and he saw the man with the bike, where he was, and any other details that he can give us? You also need now to find a boat.
Yes, we're aware now that there was a boat in Littlehaven Bay at about 12:15 on Thursday the 29th of June. There were persons diving off that boat in the bay. They were not far off the scene and may well have seen something, and we'd like them to contact us.
OK, fine. And just one last thing. If you saw anyone in the vicinity on the 29th of June or thereabouts with some rope like that, again, please call us, particularly if the man might have borne the description of that artist's impression that we had. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Sue.
Well, now Aladdin's Cave. We've had calls from all around the country for that treasure trove we showed, gathered together at Peterborough Police Station. One sharp-eyed viewer recognised a watch that John Bly didn't even mention. But John will be pleased that the item he thought was most interesting, this engraved silver mug, has been claimed, or does have a claimant anyway. We're following it up. But Mrs. Elizabeth Honeywood says she recognises the crest as the Manning family crest, and she's quite sure this mug belongs to her grandmother. And a viewer thinks he knows who owns these old exercise books too. He says he went to the Deerbank Boys' School in County Durham. His name's William Wearmouth. His headmaster was called Mr. Oliver, and his son, Mr. Oliver's son, was called James Oliver, and he thinks those are his exercise books. So we'll follow it up. Nick.
Next, the tragic shooting of David Patterson. David had only been in London for a few days when a couple he knew were held at gunpoint briefly as an armed robbery. When they ran free and told him, he shouted to his friends, "Let's stand up for ourselves," and set off in pursuit.
Stay back! I told you, stay back!
Bill Mellish, what's been the response?
Well, we've had a number of new witnesses who saw the suspect come forward, which is most interesting. However, I'm still looking towards the family, his friends or associates of the robber, to provide me with the information that's given me his full name and his full address. As far as I'm concerned, whilst he's at large, he's a danger to the public and a danger to himself. There's a substantial reward, and any information that comes in about him will be treated with absolute confidence.
OK, you're being discreet. I know you must be about one call in particular, which I think you're very interested in. We can't say more than that, but we will as soon as we can. Sue.
Well, it's just time now to catch up with the three cases on Incident Desk. David Hatcher, what's been happening? First on the case of the shooting of Donald Kell at Swiss Cottage, Laura's Bank.
Yes, this is the Samaritan who was gunned down trying to help all of us by preventing that robbery. Well, we've had an anonymous caller who tells us that they know who's involved in this particular job. Now, we're sure that this caller does probably know more than has been said so far, so we'd like that caller to ring again. Either call here at the studio or call Albany Street Police Station on 01 383 5882. That's Albany Street Police Station.
That could be extremely good news. What about the yellow Golf that you were looking for?
Yes, we've had a few more sightings of that. Remember, that was abandoned out in the open, we think, but being used in the Hounslow, Middlesex area. Well, that may well pin down to some more sightings that will give us other leads to follow up. And also the video fit that we showed, we've had some possible names for who that might be, and that too is hopeful.
Right. What about that shocking attack on a family in Brick Lane in London?
Yes, a very disappointing response in view of the nastiness of the attack. Remember, that's where one of the Ali family was murdered and others were stabbed. Well, we showed a video fit of a white attacker in that particular case, and we've had a call telling us who they think that video fit goes down to. But what we didn't say was that the attacker had hair tied back in a ponytail, and that may help others looking at it to give us other possible names, or indeed the same name if it fits, to follow up on that particular job. We've also had possible sightings of two black men involved in the job, and also some help on the white convertible.
Right. Finally, Mr. Winner, who was cashing stolen cheques.
Yes.
Are you a loser yet?
Well, we're working on that. In fact, he could be a loser. We've had 6 callers, all giving the same name, and we're determined to make Mr. Winner a loser.
OK. David, thank you.
And that's it for this month. We'll be back a month from now. Do join us, and don't have nightmares. Do sleep well. Good night.